All right, so move on to the next segment. I'll be sharing my early fight preview between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. So this is not a fight prediction, it's just an early fight preview between two fighters in the prime of their careers, daring themselves to be great. Arguably both top 10 pound for pound fighters in the sport today, where you will see WBC lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson move up to 140 to challenge Teofimo Lopez for his WBO and Ring Magazine titles. This is a big, monumental fight to kick off the calendar year 2026 in the sport of boxing. So today, I'll be going over the advantages and the disadvantages that both fighters will be facing heading into this boxing fight in late January. So, height and reach advantage, I'll give that advantage to Teofimo Lopez. Now, I think Teofimo Lopez has the advantage here, but both are 5'8", so they're the same height, but Teo has a small reach advantage with a 1.5 inch reach advantage over Shakur Stevenson. Now, that's a small little petty advantage that some of you might believe that I have, but that could play a factor if this fight gets in the inside for Teofimo Lopez, or if he uses his range to fight, or uses his reach to fight in the range at different ranges against Shakur Stevenson. So both are the same size, it seems like, when they faced off in their face-to-face during their early press conference to build up the fight. We've seen both of them standing side by side several times to promote the fight. They seem like they're the same size, but I'll give the small height and reach advantage to Teofimo Lopez for having the 1.5 reach advantage over Shakur Stevenson in this fight. Weight advantage. Weight advantage is going to Teofimo Lopez. Now, again, that's only a 5-pound weight difference that Shakur Stevenson is going to have to face as he's moving up with just one weight class to fight Teofimo Lopez. But Shakur Stevenson has never fought at 140. This is his debut. Meanwhile, Teofimo Lopez, once upon a time, was a unified king at lightweight. Now, when he lost to George Kambosos and moved up to 140, this is where he's been most comfortable, in my opinion, in his boxing career, because he's fought at 140 for the last 3 years. He's actually 7-0 in this division and holds the WBO and the Ring Magazine titles. And to only hold the Ring Magazine title, that means you have to be known and recognized as the best fighter in your division. And Teofimo Lopez has clearly showed that time in and time out when the lights are on bright at 140. And my favorite performances from him at 140 at the super lightweight division has been against Josh Taylor when he took the WBO title from him in the summer of 2023, and against Arnold Barboza when he was featured on that card with the likes of Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. He had the best performance of the night on that card that took place earlier on in the year in the calendar month of May. So Teofimo Lopez shines in the big moments, and he's 7-0 at this division since moving up back in 2022. And Shakur is at a disadvantage here only because he's never fought on 140. He is moving up to his 4th weight division, looking to become a 4-division world champion early in his career, but he just hasn't had those moments, or he hasn't been spotlighted in this division just yet. So the weight advantage goes in favor of Teofimo Lopez, who has been very comfortable at this division for the last 3 years, and is 7-0 at this division, holding championships in this division. Ooh. Next one, power and strength. Power and strength, the advantage goes to Teofimo Lopez. Now, hear me out. Both fighters aren't knockout artists, clearly, but both fighters are not knockout artists, but Teofimo Lopez has the power advantage to make his opponents respect his power. Now, again, doesn't have the flashy, maybe he had some flashy knockouts when he was being brought up on Top Rank and Bob Arum and company over the years, but Teo has enough power to make his opponents respect him and to think about what they're going to do offensively to avoid the big shots. I've seen that when Teo fought Lomachenko back in 2020. I've seen that when Teo fought Josh Taylor back in 2023. I've seen that even earlier this year when he fought Arnold Barboza. When these fighters feel the power that Teofimo Lopez dishes out, they don't want any parts of it, and they try to shuffle around and think of a game plan and try to make the adjustments to avoid those big shots, because at the end of the day, Teo has the power to make his opponents not only respect the power, but he also shuts his opponent's confidence down when he lands the power shots. So when Teo lands the power shots, he does it with style. He's a very flashy fighter and has several ways of landing the power punches. With the lunging straight punch, I mean, he looks like a superhero character when he does it. It's hard to describe. He lunges in and it lands a straight punch. When he's coming in the inside, the 1-2 combinations mixing in with the hooks and sometimes even dances and celebrates. I think he hit the Muhammad Ali shuffle on all of our posters this year. Like, the best version of Tio is when he gets the power shots rolling, he's landing with accuracy, and he becomes flashy and starts dancing in the ring. He knows at the end of the day, boxing is somewhat a sports entertainment business with keeping the fans entertained in between fights. So when he's putting BTA to opponents, he does it with style and finesse. So when you see Tio do that, that's the best version of him. Again, not knockout power. Neither of these fighters have knockout power, but I give the power advantage to Teofimo Lopez because once he gets the power shots going, once he gets in rhythm, his opponents got to second guess what the hell to do next, and it breaks their confidence down as the rounds go on in big time moments. But Shakur knows how to touch up his opponents. He does. I will give Shakur credit for that. But he has the disadvantage in the power department. And something I've been thinking about the more I think about this fight, what if Tio gets going with the power shots? The last time we seen Shakur in danger or somewhat intimidated of power shots from a powerful puncher was against Edwin De Los Santos back in late 2023 when he was moving around the ring. Yes, he had a bad hand, but I never seen Shakur Stevenson fight so many times off the back foot. I never seen him so uncomfortable to engage in a fight. And he was avoiding the power shots from Edwin De Los Santos. Had him moving around the ring a lot that night. So I think the power advantage has to go in favor of Teofimo Lopez for that category. Ooh, this one was close. Speed and agility. I'm going to go with Teofimo Lopez with the advantage here too. I think Tio is faster and quicker. He has the better footwork, he fights better than Shakur in different lateral movements, has elite head movement, and can find success in different boxing styles. That's how special of a fighter Teofimo Lopez is. He can hit the Muhammad Ali shuffle, like I just said a few moments ago. He could showboat better than anybody else in the business and do it with finesse and style. And that comes to how athletically gifted that Teofimo Lopez truly is in that boxing ring. And honestly, out of the four kings, if you don't count Gervonta, I would say he is the most gifted athletic fighter. Well, actually, as much as I like Gervonta, that's actually a realistic comparison of which fighter is the more gifted and athletic. But we're not talking about Tank or the other four kings. We're talking about Tio and Shakur here. But that's how special of a fighter I think Teofimo Lopez is with his speed and agility, his athletic gifts. And Shakur is pretty athletic too, but I just don't think he's quicker or athletically gifted like Teofimo Lopez is. And Shakur does have a faster reaction time than Teofimo Lopez, but I think overall speed and agility, I would give Teofimo Lopez the advantage there. Ooh, boxing IQ was close. I'm going to give Shakur Stevenson the advantage for boxing IQ here. Boxing IQ for Shakur Stevenson is truly off the charts here. He makes great adjustments in between rounds and hardly loses rounds. Shakur always puts his foot on the gas pedal from round 1 to 12 when he's in championship fights, controls the fight at his pace, never lets his opponents feel in control or gain confidence and momentum in rounds. That's how special his boxing IQ is. Meanwhile, Teofimo Lopez is very intelligent himself in the boxing ring with his boxing IQ. Different styles has give Teofimo Lopez problems, and with the different styles that Shakur has seen over the years, I have not seen anybody crack the code of how to figure out his style. But meanwhile, Teofimo Lopez has struggled with different styles over the years. We know his one and only professional loss against George Kambosos, where he dropped him in the fight. We can go back to that performance that he had late back in 2022 against Sandor Martin. Jermaine Ortiz was another questionable win by Teofimo Lopez, trying to figure out those type of boxing styles, and Steve Claggett as well. So Shakur, boxing IQ, nobody has ever been on his level intelligently in the ring. But Tio is very intelligent as well. But I just seen several boxing skills, several different boxers with different boxing skills expose him at times in the ring. And then last advantage, we'll go defense. Obviously, I'm going with the Shakur Stevenson with the defensive advantage. He's the better defensive fighter here. And honestly, I've said time in and time out on the Combat Series that Shakur Stevenson is the best defensive fighter that we've seen in the sport since Floyd Mayweather has retired. I mean, he only gets hit 5 times per round, which is pretty elite. Sometimes less than that per round. I mean, he's elite in the high guard, elite in the Philly shell, and he knows what to do to block his opponent's best shots. That is great elite boxing skills and elite boxing IQ out of Shakur Stevenson, and did a good job. We've seen it during the summer. He did a good job handicapping William Zepeda, a power puncher of his best attributes, and not allowing William Zepeda, other than what, the round 3 where he nearly got dropped, to land his best shots in the fight. So Shakur has came a long way in terms of being a slick defensive fighter. He is so entertaining to some as a defensive fighter, but also very boring, in my opinion, entertaining from a defensive standpoint. And I would give Shakur Stevenson the advantage here defensively for everything that I just said. Plus, Teo has been hit and hurt with some big shots in the past. He got dropped by George Kambosos in the past. It's overall there. Sador Martin, I think he got dropped and knocked down in that fight as well back a few years ago. But yeah, I've seen Teo get marked up, touched up, and he's just not the better defensive fighter between himself and Shakur Stevenson. So, overall, I think this is a 50-50 fight. I think anybody can win that title, win the WBO and Ring Magazine titles in January. Anybody could walk out with those titles. It's going to be a 50-50 fight. Right now, I'm leaning towards Teofimo Lopez, who actually defeats Shakur Stevenson. That's not my final pick, but with the advantages that Teofimo has over Shakur Stevenson, I feel more confident in Teo today than I do in Shakur Stevenson for this upcoming fight in January. Teo just shines well, guys, when his back is against the wall in big championship fights. We've seen it time in and time out in his boxing career, and we've seen it when he fought Vasily Lomachenko in the biggest boxing fight of his career. Outclassed and outboxed Vasily Lomachenko. You've seen it back in 2023 when everyone tried to write him off when he fought Josh Taylor and outboxed him and never looked back. Been the king of 140 since then, holding the WBO and Ring Magazine title. And he has Teo has advantages over Shakur Stevenson with footwork in the footwork department. He can fight in different lateral movements and fight in different angles. He brings an unpredictable approach to his boxing fights and can fight in a southpaw stance or in the orthodox stance. He's very unique in the boxing ring, and this is another huge advantage. If the fight is honestly kept in the inside, I lean more towards Teofimo Lopez in the inside game because I've seen Teofimo Lopez step up time in and time in, inside, fighting in the inside. And honestly, when he gets the power shots going, when he lands with accuracy, that's where you see Teofimo Lopez at his best and at his peak, because this man starts doing the Muhammad Ali shuffle. This man starts dancing around. He does anything to throw his opponents off. And my problem is, what if Shakur Stevenson can't fight in the inside? I think if the fight is kept in the inside for majority of the fight, I lean towards Teo. What if Shakur can't get going offensively the inside? What if Shakur Stevenson is behind on the judges' scorecards and can't come back to at least get a draw or get a decision victory? Can Shakur Stevenson be the aggressor coming forward, fighting against Teofimo Lopez? Those are the reasons why I lean right now towards Teo. That's not my final pick. But if I had to pick right now, Teo would be my pick over Shakur Stevenson for that fight in January. But that's my early fight preview for the fight that's going to take place in January between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson.